All right, all right. Good afternoon, good afternoon. It's the Mr. Brown Show. Hope everyone's enjoying this rainy afternoon. It's pouring here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I think this is bringing in a cool front that's going to allow temperatures to go down to the high of the 70s next week. So I look forward to that. Right now, we're looking at a nice cool 89 degrees. Anyway, did you welcome to the show? Did you say your prayer, give your prayer, and give your praise to God for waking you up this morning? I hope, I hope you did, because a lot of other people didn't get that chance to do it. A lot of people didn't wake up this morning. So give them thanks, give them praise. No matter what you're going through right now, give them the thanks, give them the praise. Well, I had class today. I had a class where it's a music class, and it's in conjunction with when you take an applied lesson, or you take an applied instrument, meaning you're taking instruction on an instrument. And I'm taking an applied percussions class. So that's incorporating drums, cymbals, things of that nature, bass drums, xylophones, glockenspiels, those those type instruments pertaining to the in the percussion family. And you're gonna have to, I found out today that you have to give a recital. Now I have a minor in music, so I'm not really going crazy over it. Um, I mean, if I do it, I do it. But it looks like I might have to do it just to get the grade. It's a mandatory thing. And I'm saying, okay, fine. So what I'm doing is I'm learning xylophone, and then I'm going to do a recital on it later in the semester. Um, I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little tired. Well, like I said, I was in the hospital last week, and I may have gone back a little earlier. Maybe gone back to school and started a routine, my regular routine back too early. Maybe I just need to give myself a little time to rest. Those steps when you're on a college campus, even though they may seem not that many originally, it doesn't seem like that many steps originally when you get on the campus. But when you've been sick and you've been in bed for a week, um, it kind of takes a little, it kind of taxes your body a little bit. Um, anyway, what's going on? Did anybody see the interview with Kamala Kamala Harris? Anybody see the interview? Did you? What did you think? What did you think? Do you think the questions that were given to her were softball type questions? You think that the questions were designed that, they were just giving her favor. They wasn't giving her anything really hard about what she plans to do or what her policies will be, or her proposed policies will be once she's in office. Anyway, I think it went pretty well. I think she asked her one of the hardest questions I think she posed to her was uh, fracking. Her original position on fracking. Originally, she was against fracking when she was the vice president and was running on the ticket with Biden. She was against fracking, and now she's for fracking. So she says her views have not changed. Um, it's kind of interesting, but you know what? Everybody's entitled to change their mind, right? Especially when it comes to winning an office, right? Everybody's entitled to change their mind. one or two or three times or whatever. Anyway, what do you think about, I see Trump talked about IVF treatments. I'll tell you, those, one, when you're planning a family or planning to bring children into your family, it's a very emotional time. It's a very emotional period, specifically for both the husband and the wife to go through these difficulties. And he was talking about IVF. IVF is almost like a sure shot way of bringing forth children, securing that a woman becomes pregnant, will become pregnant from the IVF treatments. It's almost like a sure shot way, except the only problem with the IVF is it can cost thousands of dollars. It can cost thousands of dollars. And some insurance companies don't pay for it. Some insurance companies don't cover it. I remember when I was with the Catholic University of America and I asked about it, and they told me, yeah, after 5 years of working for the university, if you have their health plan and you work after 5 years, the insurance, the medical insurance will cover IVF, but it won't cover IVF if it's under 5 years. So if you've been there 3 years, you've been there 4 years, you've been there 4 years and a day, or 4 years and 99 days, whatever, it's not going to cover it. Or 4 years and 364, it's not going to cover it. So you're kind of up the creek. Some insurances do cover a portion, not all, a portion. And what Tim Walsh went through with his wife was the IUI, and that's affordable. That's actually covered by most medical insurance. That's covered by most medical insurance. You don't have to worry about it. Don't have to pay a cent. It's part of your benefit. The IVF is it's like a turbocharge, if you will. If the IUI doesn't work, you go to the IVF, which then takes you out of a certain market, and it basically says, hey, if you really want to do this, it's going to cost you X thousands of dollars to do it. This is the thing. This man came out, and like I said, people will say the dog. When I was growing up, there was a guy named Art Linkletter, and he had a phrase saying children will say the darndest things. They will say the darndest things. Children will say the darndest things. That's what it was. That was a phrase. That was a catchphrase. And guess what? Donald Trump said the darndest thing last night or yesterday, saying that if he gets in office, he will make sure that either the federal government or all insurance companies will pay 100% IVF. Either the federal government will pay 100% IVF, or the insurance companies will pay 100% IVF. Children say the darndest things, don't they? How in the world are you going to make the nation's insurance companies, private companies, pay 100% on something that they say normally if you're going to seek that treatment, it's going to cost you at least maybe $10,000. it's going to cost the couple or the person, the mother, $10,000. How in the world? I mean, that's just a minimum, and that's a pop. IVF, that's a pop. That's each time they do the procedure, it's 10 grand. And it may have gone up since 2011, 2012. But, and it probably has. But how in the world will somebody, people will say the craziest things just to get office. I mean, talking about lying, talking about, man, vote for me and I'll set you free. Vote for me, I'll lower your taxes, no tax. Read my lips, no new taxes. Who said that? George Bush Sr. What was the first thing he did when he got in office? He raised everybody's taxes. So, Donald Trump is saying he will go ahead and get and sanction the federal government to pay 100% for IVF because he says we want to have in his words, we want to have a lot of children running around. We need a lot of new children running around. That's what he basically said. That's what he said. Because we love little children. People will say the darndest things, man. Donald Trump doesn't have a clue of what's going on. Donald Trump is going to try to go on what he did in the past. And you know what? It would be best for him to just go on what he did when he was president for 4 years, minus the COVID fiasco and the millions and millions of deaths that people suffered, millions and millions of deaths to people because of his lack of understanding what's going on, of trying to move on this thing in an earlier stage, which he did not do. You know, he would be better off going off on that. The only thing he basically did, I heard people say, which doesn't really resonate much with me, but they were talking about he gave out the stimulus checks. Everybody remember those? $600 a week. $600 a week. Can you imagine? I mean, not can you imagine? It happened. You probably got it. That's why so many people didn't go back to work. Because they made more money on the stimulus check per week than they would have made as unemployment or even at their job. It gave them a little bit of an umbrella, keep the rain off them so that they can go figure out what they really wanted to do. Start a business. Start a new career. Go back to school. It gave them that opportunity. It gave them that opportunity to sit back and say, yeah, okay, I can live off of this every week. $600? Yeah. And that's what they did. That's what Trump did. Trump did that. It wasn't Biden. Trump did it. Yeah. Okay. What else do you do? I tell you what he did do the other day. He went on to Arlington National Cemetery and ran a campaign photo shoot, campaign video shoot. Yeah. In an area that was forbidden, that prohibited videotape or photography. He went ahead and did it. And the poor woman who worked there, who was an employee of the Department of Defense of Arlington National Cemetery, confronted him and tried to stop him from doing it. And she was assaulted. She got pushed aside. And she realized, okay, who this person was. She says, I'm not going to press charges against him. If I press charges against him, I'm going to be retaliated against. This is the type of clown you got running for president. When do you say enough is enough to people like that? When? I know, I'll tell you when. November 5th is when you say enough is enough. He's got his people. Everybody's got a right to vote for whoever they want to vote for. You know, you can do that. That's your right as a citizen. But open your mind and see who he's incorporated. He's got he's got Bobby Kennedy Jr. on his transition team. This is the clown who knew he wouldn't be able to win as an independent. This is the clown who went out and left a dead bear cub in Central Park. He killed the cub and dumped the body in Central Park. This is the one who claims that some type of lesions got into his brain and ate a portion of his brain. I believe that. If his father, Bobby Kennedy, was alive today, he probably would say, what have I done? Well, maybe if he was alive today, maybe Bobby Kennedy Jr. wouldn't be the way he is. But if he had known what kind of things would be coming out of this son's mouth, what kind of ideas that would be coming from spewing from his intellect, telling people what he believes and what he's against, and he's against this, he's against this, he's against getting vaccines. If he had known that his son was going to act this way, he probably would have just said, let's just get an abortion. But you know what? Abortion was illegal back then. In the 60s, it was illegal to do. But you know what? The right people, when they need to get an abortion, they got abortion. Believe me, believe that. And I'm not talking about the ones that were done in the alleyways. I'm talking about the ones that were done in clinics by doctors. So yeah, they had that going on back then in the 60s. I'm just saying, if he just had advance notice, this is what his offspring will be doing and saying, he probably would have just opted and said, look, let's just terminate the pregnancy. If that's not enough argument for abortion, I don't know what is. Crazy. It's Mr. Brown Show. I see Tim Walz was in North Carolina yesterday. He was with the Governor Cooper. They went to the Cookout, a well-known fast food establishment here in North Carolina. And he went there and they had a couple cool drinks because it was hot yesterday, y'all. It was real hot. But he was here visiting. He did the interview. I think him and Vice President Harris did the interview in Georgia, I think in Savannah. Savannah's a beautiful spot. I had a honeymoon there. That's where we did our honeymoon in Savannah, Georgia. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful town. And so they did their interview. Okay, so now they got that under their belt, and they told people what they want to hear. Now they got to get out there and get the word out to everybody and just say, hey, vote. You know, you got Trump up there. I mean, he's digging all in the dirt, throwing dirt. And I mean, stuff that just has no sense. It doesn't make any sense at Kamala Harris. Personal stuff that has doesn't even have any truth to it. He's just basically like a schoolyard kid throwing out insults. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. He doesn't have a clue. Is he fit to be the president? That's a question. That's a question for the Mr. Brown Show. Do you think the candidates on both sides, Democrat and Republican, are fit? That means physically and mentally fit to hold the office of the presidency and the vice presidency. That goes for, I'm including the vice president candidate, the vice president presidential candidates as well. Do you think they're fit mentally and physically to do the job? Let me know. It's the Mr. Brown Show. Shout out to BroncoIRadio.com, where every second of the day an artist is live. BroncoRadio.com. We are proud to be. It's the Mr. Brown Show.